assets, disruption, maybe persons had to, some persons lost their jobs, so there's disruption in terms of income. And so, you know, it behoves all of us to be looking at ways in which we can ensure that we can bounce back from events like this, whether it's a job loss, whether it's the death of a spouse who is a significant income earner, whether it is significant illnesses that might disrupt your life. And so that's why it's so important for us in thinking about financial resilience that we think about financial protection through insurance. And so that's what today is about. And we're happy to have our colleagues from Kuna Caribbean Insurance, Jamaica Limited, Mrs. Morrison and Mr. Jones, who will share with us on that topic. It's important to know, though, that just being a member of a credit union, you are really on your path to bolstering your financial resilience, whether through the savings that you hold with us and you build up those savings to create emergency reserves from which you can pull, or it is, you know, through our investment subsidiary. You know, you will have access to management of your investments or retirement planning services that will provide you through the subsidiary. And then there's also inbuilt insurance in some of our products. You know, when you save with us, there's a loan savings insurance that you'll have access to. And also when you borrow from us, there's loan protection insurance. So there it is. As a member of the credit union, your financial resilience is really jump-started. So today you'll learn more about other protection products, other insurance products to help you really bolster and to feel comfortable in any kind of environment that you may find yourself in, and to be confident from a financial perspective that you'll be able to endure that kind of situation. So at this point, I'll also want to just remind you that your credit union has we launched back in April our COVID-19 member assistance program. So if anybody is facing any recent disruption in terms of your income and require any kind of accommodation, do reach out to your credit union, you know, through your branches or micro and small business center or subsidiary FHCIL, or you can call us at the call center or our member care center. So your credit union stands ready to support you, and that's exactly why we're having this webinar, to give you the information, to provide you with the insights in terms of how you can become better financially, you know. So we're thinking about, especially at this time, thinking about your financial renewal and thinking about just your overall financial well-being. So we're delighted to have you, members and friends, and I hope you do enjoy the webinar. Do participate, make sure to ask all the questions. It makes no sense to go home with those questions. Engage us and have us, you know, talk to you about how we can help you improve financially. So thank you, and as always, remember, FHC, my place, FHC, your place, and it's FHC, our place. So thank you and enjoy. I'm going to hand over back to you, Juven, for the introductions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Linton. But before I get to the introductions, let me just pause to share with you some of the ground rules for this evening's webinar. Please ensure that your system is on mute at all times. You may ask a question by raising your hand or writing in the chat at the appointed time, and the presenters will share with you when it is time for questions and answers. At this time, we have two presenters this evening from Kuna Insurance Jamaica Limited, Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited, I'm sorry. And they are Mrs. Georgia Morrison and Mr. Anthelon Jones. And I will just share with you a little bit about both persons. Georgia is a certified financial planner with over 20 years experience in the financial services sector. She's the holder of a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master of Arts degree from the University of the West Indies, as well as a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of London. She has held various management positions in the areas of retail and corporate banking, business development, sales, and client services. Georgia managed various corporate and commercial banking relationships and was responsible for revenue and portfolio growth, customer retention and satisfaction, as well as originating, analyzing, structuring, and presenting credit proposals for diverse industry segments. She is now the Assistant Vice President of Sales, Jamaica for Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. Under her portfolio as AVP, she is responsible for the execution of sales and strategy at Kuna. We also have Mr. Anthelon Jones. Anthelon has a degree in finance and human resource management and has over 14 years experience in the financial and educational sectors. He lectured risk management, insurance and financial planning at the Northern Caribbean University. He spent 6 years in the credit union in areas such as loans, delinquency management, and insurance, and 8 years in insurance companies. He is a licensed insurance sales representative and has been at Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited since 2013, where he has held various positions and is now the relationship manager with the responsibility for client services and retention. Ladies and gentlemen, members, family, friends, I now hand over to Mrs. Georgia Morrison, who will take us through the presentation.
Thank you very much, Juven. Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you to all the FHC members for tuning in. We're so happy to you by this medium. And I just want to commend FHC for taking the initiative to have this kind of forum during these challenging times. Before I get into my presentation, I just want to start by just taking a quick minute to send some greetings. I want to send greetings to all the FHC staff across the 9 branches, those that are tuned into this webinar. Greetings also to my Kuna colleagues, all the Kuna staff, Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica staff who are tuned in. Brunel is listening and there are others who have tuned in. Sending greetings to you. We're comfortably hosted at FHC at Eureka Road, and we're so happy to be here. All right, just want to give you a little hint that you should pay close attention to the presentation. Take notes. Hope you have pen and paper close by. That's just a hint. Won't say anything much further there. And just to let you know that we're going to be covering 4 products today. And at the end of my presentation, we'll take the questions on the products that I have presented on. And then my colleague Anthelon will take over to do 2 of the products, and you'll hold your questions until the end of his presentation. I hope you can see the screen because I'm going to start now to just get on with the show, because I know that Juven has some exciting things planned at the end. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit about Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. We're a member of the Kuna Mutual Group, and we're a leading provider of insurance solutions for credit unions and their members. At Kuna, we value all people, and so we think that everyone should feel the joy and comfort of financial security. We are backed by our parent company, Kuna Mutual Group, and they have over 80 years experience in this market. And it's a very solid company with an asset base of over 20 billion US dollars. So we just want to assure you that, we're a strong group of companies. We provide over 2 million credit union members across 12 territories rather, in the Caribbean with insurance solutions, and Jamaica being one of those 12 countries. Others are Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Kitts, Dominica, Montserrat, Curacao, and we have a very strong presence in the Caribbean. Our suite of products was developed to empower credit unions and their members. And we have 6 main products. The Indemnity Plan, most of you would know that product as the FIP. And we added a critical illness rider. So we now have the Family Indemnity Plan and critical illness rider. We have the Family Critical Illness Plan that is affectionately called FCIP. Loan protection, which is an insurance for your loans, as the CEO spoke about that earlier. Life savings, that also, which is an insurance protection for your savings. Or advanced protector with credit disability, that is like a creditor life insurance, so it also covers your loans, and the Golden Harvest Savings Plan. And I know that most of the FHC members are very familiar with the product offerings. We at Kuna are unique in how we deliver our product offerings. We offer insurance coverage through groups specifically designed for organizations that are member-based. And hence, that's how our relationship with the credit union began, because we wanted to offer our products to organizations that have a large membership that could benefit from these offerings. So we have partnered with FHC, and we're offering coverage to the members. Their savings are secured. You can borrow, you can access your savings. Your loans are insured, and there are just a number of benefits that we have through our insurance offerings. So with the COVID pandemic, we thought it was a perfect time to just have a discussion about protection. And we wanted, like FHC, to be connected with you more than ever during these challenging times, because we know that the COVID pandemic has really been stressful for some of us. And so we wanted to assure you that you could feel the joy of protection during these challenging times. So in this time where safety and health of the loved ones are paramount, we're here to give you additional information. For some of you have the products already, some of you are prospective members, so it may be new to you. So we just want to tell you about our product offerings. We have designed them in such a way that they're suitable for everybody's pocket. You can find something that you can afford. Very easy to see, not cumbersome at all. No medical required at sign up. And of course, you can access these products through your credit unions. And we have told you that, FHC has 9 branches as far as Montego Bay. So you have many options of how to get in touch with your FHC reps. So now I'm gonna get down to the nitty-gritty and start to talk up the things then. So many families have suffered the burden of handling final expenses for their loved ones for whom no declaration was made. In 2019, in Jamaica, there were 22,400 deaths. In 2019, 22,400 deaths in Jamaica. And there are some tough questions that we need to ask ourselves. Real tough questions. First one, how prepared are we to deal with the final responsibilities that come with the passing of a family member? That big financial burden that comes with the passing of a family member, are we prepared to deal with that? Recently, I had a meeting with one of the companies in Jamaica that is offering you know, those same-day loans and the payday loans and so on. And we had a discussion with them, and they told us that they were experiencing a high level of delinquency. And when they did the deep dive, they discovered that a number of their clients were having challenges paying their loans because they had a death in the family, and the funds had to be diverted to cover the funeral expenses because there was no preparation. We know in recent times that persons have had deaths in their family and they have to set up a GoFundMe account in order to fund the funeral expenses. They have had to set up a fish fry, host a round robin, and do things like that. So families have had to fund funerals from savings and other means simply because they're not prepared. Who will pay for your funeral when you pass? Will this expense be a burden to your family? Can I afford to bury my parents? Ask yourself that question. Some of us, our parents, have worked very hard over the years, made sacrifices to send us to school so that we could get a good education and you know, get a job and so on. And those sacrifices may have prevented them from saving or making the funeral preparation, making the plan for the funeral. So can I afford to bury my parents? Let's ask ourselves that question. What is the cost of a funeral these days? I can tell you, it's not cheap. So the final question that we should be asking ourselves then is, what can I do to prevent financial strain when a loved one dies? I'm here to tell you today that we have the Family Indemnity Plan, and our Family Indemnity Plan is designed to provide peace of mind for you and your family when you are faced with one of life's certainties. And notice I said certainties, because one thing we know is that death is sure. So what is the Family Indemnity Plan? We know it as FIP, and it's an insurance plan designed to cover up to 6 persons on a single contract. Now let me pause so that you can digest that. 6 persons on a single contract. It means that for one premium, you can cover yourself and you can cover 5 other family members. 6 fingers. Okay. The other attractive thing about it is that we have 7 different plan types. A lot of times you go to buy insurance, you go to purchase insurance and you want this, and this is the cost. In our case, we have 7 different options that you can choose from. So we have something that can fit every pocket. And so I'm going to invite you now to just listen, watch this quick presentation, which tells you a little bit about the Family Indemnity Plan.
Sister Patricia, I had also call you because I didn't need somebody to chat Sister Stephanie with. What a disgrace with her husband. Imagine the man dead and they drive such a nice car and they could not even afford to bury him. You know how long I tell her to go down by Henry Credit Union and ask for the Family Indemnity Plan from Puna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. She could have taken out a plan benefit that her pocket could manage because the benefits go all the way up to $1 million per family member. One monthly payment could have covered she and about 5 other somebody. All she did need was a monthly payment, prove her age, her address, and that them is her family. They did not even have to do a medical. But she would not have to be calling foreign to beg or asking me for any money because I let it to her, but I go and take it and tell her because she are too careless. I take out a plan and make sure I cover myself because nobody not going to have to keep no fish fry to bury me. And in the meantime, you need to go down by any credit union to ask for the Family Indemnity Plan from Puna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. Tell them Sister Passion send you.
All right. So prospective FHC members, if you do not yet have your FIP, when you call FHC tomorrow, tell them Sister Passion sent you. Juven might just, you know, give you some incentive for that. All right, so we heard that the benefit goes up to $1 million for each family member, and I'll be telling you a little bit about that as we progress through this evening. But I mentioned before that it can cover funeral expenses for up to 6 family members, and the thing is that you are paid up benefit and you can use it for other things, to pay down debts for the loved one that has passed. You just get the death benefit and you use it to do whatever is needed at the time. Now, we have 7 different plan types, and I want to just tell you about the person covered under the plan. So we set up 5 additional family members. First one can be your spouse. You know, your husband, whether married or common law, you can cover your spouse. You can cover your unmarried children up to age 25 years. After 25 years, they will have to come off the plan, but at that time, they can purchase a plan for themselves. You can also cover permanently disabled children for the duration of their life if they're enrolled prior to age 26. And the disability part has to be supported by medical evidence. You can cover a combination of your parents or parents-in-law who have not yet reached the age of 76, who have not yet reached the age of 76 at the time of enrollment. So parents or parents-in-law, any 2 combination, and for the life of the certificate, you can only have 2 of those enrolled under the plan. So let's look at the 7 plan types that we've been talking about. And since Sister Passion told us that it go all the way up to $1 million, let's $1 million. Now, you would see on your screen that we have plans A to G, and we have outlined for you what's the monthly premium, and we have outlined for you the individual death benefit. Now, remember, when you purchase this plan, what you're buying is a death benefit, so the benefit is paid upon death. If you purchase a plan G, you would pay a monthly premium of $5,280, and upon your death, the benefit that would be paid would be $1 million. Now, you may have some other persons on the plan with you. You may have a spouse, you may have your 2 children under the age of 26, and you may have your parents or your parents-in-law. You will receive a benefit payout upon the death of each person on the plan. So if there are 6 persons on the plan, the benefit is payable once the plan is still in place upon the death of each person on the plan. Now we start with a plan A, which is as low as $422.40, and the benefit payout for that is $80,000 per person on the plan. So this is what I was trying to tell you, that there is a plan to suit every single pocket. No affordability issues here. All right, so you have gone into FHC and you've bought your plan. When is the effective date of coverage? It's the first day of the month following the enrollment. So if you should go to FHC in July, sign up for your plan, put all your documents, pay your first premium, then your plan would become effective on the 1st of August. Important information for you to have also is that there's a waiting period of 6 months under the plan, whichever plan you purchase. You would not be paid out a benefit for in that 6-month period unless it is a death by accidental means. After the 6 months has passed, then death by natural causes will chip in. So after the waiting period of 6 months, if you die within 6 months via accidental death, the benefit will be paid. Otherwise, there's a waiting period of 6 months, and after that, death by natural causes will come into effect, and you can be paid a benefit once the 6 months have passed. For death by suicide, there is a 2-year period. All right. Can I make any changes under the plan? Sure, you can. So I mentioned earlier that you could have your spouse, you could have your children, you could have your parents. So if you divorce or you remarry or you terminate a relationship with a spouse or a significant other, then you could make a change and replace that with your new spouse. The death of an insured also allows you the opportunity to make a change under the plan. Once the child reaches the age of 26, they will have to fall off the plan, but then they can purchase their own plan at that time. And if your child gets married below the age of 26, they will also fall off the plan. All right, so you've spent your money, you've bought your plan, you now have your insurance in place, and you want to know what would happen if you die and how will the claims be handled. Now, I know that sometimes persons have reservations about insurance because they feel that, you know, when it's time for the claim to be paid, it's a hassle. At Kuna, we have demonstrated so far that our claim process is quite hassle-free and the turnaround time is quick once you provide all the required documentation. In 2019, Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica paid 3,275 FIP claims to the tune of US $13 million. That's what we paid in 2019. So to make the claims process smooth and easy, you're going to provide your death certificate or the completed proof of death form, because we want to make sure that, you know, the person is dead. So we ask you to provide that up front, copy of your valid identification, government issued ID, other verification that we may require, proof of address, birth certificate, your police report where applicable, and FHC will prepare the claim statement and submit that to us along with all the documentation that you have provided. And the claims must be presented within 2 years of the death of the insured person. So once you have a death, just talk to your credit union rep and they will guide you through the process, and it will be very simple and easy. Also want to point out that our company, Kuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica, we are regulated by the Financial Services Commission. So when we ask you for all this documentation and so on, it's because our regulators are paying close attention to us. They are regulators. We want to make sure that you, the members who are purchasing this product, you are protected. They want to make sure that we are doing everything above board. And so we have to ask you for all these documentation so that when our regulators come in to review our books, everything is in order and we have no issues and we can continue to serve your credit union and you, the members. All right, so once the person has died, how the money go? We're giving out $100 million, we're giving out $1 million, 400,000, and so on. How the money go? Now, you can designate your beneficiary, especially if you're the only person insured on the enrollment form. You should designate a beneficiary and the benefit will be paid to that beneficiary. And I just want to put in a word of advice here. I'm just cautioning you to select responsible persons as your beneficiary who will look after your affairs. Years ago, another entity in the financial sector, there was a young man who joined the company, young, out of high school, you know, just leaving parents' home, joined the company and enrolled in the company's pension plan. So at the time, he didn't have a spouse, he didn't have any children. So he put a family member on the pension plan as the beneficiary. I think it was his sister. He worked with the financial institution for years, stayed there for years, contributing to the pension plan and so on. By this time now, he got a spouse, he got some children and so on, but he did not change his beneficiary. He left it at that family member and he died. The children were in school, they got nothing, the spouse got nothing. The funds, it was paid over to that family member who bought a RAV4 immediately and did nothing to look after the children. So it is important that you select a beneficiary who is responsible and will look after your affairs, especially if you have young children, children who are minor. You want to know that you want to feel protected and feel comfortable that if you pass on, they will be looked after and so on. So just an important point to note there. All right, the termination of the plan. The insurance under the plan may terminate if the member goes in and requests a termination in writing. If the member ceases to be a member of the FHC credit union, there will be a termination. That can be rectified. The plan can be transferred to another credit union, but we know that you are comfortable and happy with FHC, so we won't have any issues there. If FHC terminates the arrangement with CUNA, then your plan will be terminated, but we have a very good working relationship with FHC. We've been serving them for years, and we are both CUNA and FHC are looking out for your best interests. So we don't anticipate any issues there. And members, this is where your responsibility comes in. If your premiums are not paid within a timely manner, then we can have a little there and we can have termination, and you don't want that because you want to make sure that upon your death, you're able to have a decent funeral and your family is looked after. Now, a few years ago, we saw it fit to add a living benefit to this death benefit plan. So we know the FIP is a death benefit, and now we've added a living benefit, which is called a rider. Now, a rider is simply an insurance policy provision that adds benefit to or amends the terms of a basic insurance policy. So riders provide insurance parties with options such as additional coverage. So in this case, the rider that we have added is the critical illness rider. And so the additional coverage that it provides is one that in the event that you should be diagnosed with one of the major illnesses that we have listed, then you will get a benefit. So with the rider, the benefits, you get paid a benefit before you die because you get this benefit upon diagnosis of an illness. So we now have family indemnity plan, critical illness rider. And you may optionally choose to add this rider. It's not a must, it's up to you if you want to add the rider. And you have two options. You can have a coverage for $500,000 or a coverage for $1 million. Now, the conditions that are covered under the rider are cancer, heart attack, stroke, paralysis, and major burns. Now, we all know that even with a good health insurance plan, one critical illness can become a tremendous financial burden. So the critical illness rider can ease the financial stress and burden as it pays a living benefit upon diagnosis. We have also structured the critical illness plan based on affordable pricing. And this time we have done age band pricing. So we have up on the screen the different age bands starting from 18 years and it goes all the way up to 75 years. And we have provided for you what would be the monthly premium if you have a coverage of 500,000 and what would be the monthly premium if you have a coverage of $1 million. And in true insurance style, when you are younger, insurance is cheaper, and as you get older, it becomes a little more costly because as you get older, you end up being more likely to acquire one of these risks, and so it has to be priced accordingly. So that is the pricing structure for the critical illness rider. So I'm now going to show you an example of what the payment would be like if you added the critical illness rider to your plan. So let us imagine that you have purchased a Plan E under the FIP, and the cost of the Plan E in terms of the monthly premium is $2,112. And you have added the critical illness rider. You are in the age 30 to 34 bracket. That's where I fall, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know that. The cost for that would be $155. When you add that to the $2,112, then your monthly premium would be $2,267. You see, say it don't go up by much when you just add the little rider. It don't increase by plenty. It's still in the 2,000 region. So your benefit payout upon death would be $400,000 per person under the FIP, and the living benefit, if you should be diagnosed with one of the illnesses, would be $500,000. So see, I told you, it's simple, straightforward, not very complicated at all. All right, coverage under the critical illness rider will continue if you choose to terminate the coverage, if you do not pay the premiums, when you have reached the age of 75 years, after you have received a payment, a claim under the critical illness plan, or once you have passed on. Important information to add also, CUNA will refund all premiums paid for insurance under the rider without interest if the primary insured member dies without making a critical illness claim before the age of 75 years. So, how can you sign up and get started for all of the things that I've just outlined? Some of you are members of FHC already. Some of you already have the family indemnity plan. Some of you also have the critical illness rider. But just in case you are not a member, then you need to first become a member. So you need to visit one of the 9 branches or call up FHC tomorrow. My mother would say tomorrow, if not before. So you need to call them quick o'clock. You need to complete all the documentation that they will require to have you become a member, provide your ID and such the likes. You need to complete the CUNA Caribbean Insurance enrollment form and submit the verification documents. Birth certificate is important because age is critical to us. So we need to have a copy of your birth certificate, valid identification, one of the government issued IDs also for CUNA, driver's license, passport, or a national ID, proof of address for all adults on the plan, and then you would make your first premium payment. So you would determine which one of the 7 plans that you would want to purchase. Just want to add also that you may be looking at the Plan G and saying, boy, that looks attractive and it's $1 million, but I can't go up to the $5,280 right now. You can start lower. You can start at a Plan B or a Plan C. You can start lower. And as your financial situation improves, then you can upgrade to a higher plan. Most importantly, I told you earlier, and I'm going to prove it now, that it's hassle-free, It's very simple. It's not too complicated. So I'm going to tell you now, no medical is required on sign up. I know that for other insurance products, you are required to do a medical to sign up for life insurance. In this case here, we do not require any medical on sign up. So, family indemnity plan with the critical illness rider. And I'm now opening the floor to entertain your questions, and Anthelon and I will be answering the questions that you may have at this time. So I believe that you raise your hand, and the host, Juven or Carleen, will be just monitoring this section. Is it that there are no questions? It was as clear as mud? Okay, Jermaine has a question. You can unmute and ask your question, Jermaine.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I do not recall this being discussed, so I'm asking a question on it. What if a period of time elapses and no one has died or anything, and for example, for any reason, the family wants to claim whatever is compiled so far? How does that go? See, someone asking there, is it refundable? So yes, is basically in layman terms, is it refundable for whatever reason the family chooses? Okay,
so Jermaine, thank you so much for that question. When you purchase the insurance, the family indemnity plan, what you're purchasing is a death benefit. So the benefit is only payable upon death. And we know that death is sure and will happen. The only thing is that we don't know when. So the short answer to your question, no, you are not able to claim a refund for the premiums that you have paid. The benefit will only be paid upon the death of someone who is under the plan. And yes.
Jermaine, let me just add to it. So I listened carefully to the structure of your question. And from listening to the question, I got the perception that there's a belief that your premiums are being pooled in a fund, just like a partner plan, and waiting for you to come for a draw. But that is not how the insurance works. When you pay each month, you pay for a coverage, and we give you that coverage. So if something happens and you file a legitimate claim, we will pay that claim. Then you pay for another month's coverage for your family, and you pay for another month's coverage. So the important thing is to make sure that you have coverage at the time of the event. So it is not like a savings where you'll come and pull back your savings or pull out of a partner draw. No, you're paying for a coverage that you're receiving. I hope that gives you a better understanding of how it works.
And you have a question? And you can just unmute and ask your question.
Are you hearing me? Good evening.
Good evening, we're hearing you now.
Okay, thanks for allowing me to ask a question. I have two questions. I want to find out what happens if I am the primary person.
What happens if you're the primary person?
My family members when and I die?
If you are the primary person,
can I continue paying for the plan?
Yes, the plan can be continued if the primary person dies.
I didn't hear the answer, please.
The plan can continue If the primary person dies, if someone else can take over the payments.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm hearing you. A little break, but I'm hearing. Okay, thanks. I have a second question. Read the rider.
Yes.
Can other person in the plan benefit from the rider? So could I take it off my spouse and my children? Is that possible?
So it's possible under the rider, only the primary insured person, but we have another product called a Family Critical Illness Plan, FCIP, where you can purchase critical illness for other family members. And my colleague, Mr. Jones, is going to talk about that product in a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So we have a question here. If someone already has life insurance with another company, can they still join? Certainly. I knew a man once who had 17 policies. If I already have a plan and want to add the critical illness coverage, how many payments will I need to make to add the critical illness? You would start paying for the critical illness at the point at which you add it. So if you have your FIP and you have been paying your FIP for years and you now want to add critical illness you start paying for now at the point when you add it to your FIP. So no, you don't have to go and pay back payment for critical illness for the time that from the whole time that you had FIP. No, you start paying the critical illness now. And another question, I'm already on the plan with my wife. However, I would like to have the plans for my parents. How would I proceed? Also, I'm living overseas, and do I have to travel to Jamaica in order to finalize the paperwork? So if you already have the plan with your wife and you would like to add your parents, you could add them to that plan, provided your wife's parents are not already on her plan. So the parents can be added because you can have up to 6 persons. So you could add them provided the wife's parents are not added already to the plan. So you want to know how do you handle the paperwork if you're overseas?
What we'll do, we're taking the information and then our client service team will connect with you afterwards and we will guide you through the process.
So lots of hand-holding will happen there. All right, so thank you so much for your questions. My colleague, the very handsome Mr. Anthelon Jones, will now take over part 2, and we will now start to talk to you about the Family Critical Illness Plan and the Golden Harvest Savings Plan. So over to you, Anthelon.
Thank you so much, Georgia. And also for me, it's a pleasure and honor to be with you, the FHC family. I just want to continue from where Georgia finished and also to follow up on a question that was asked. How do I get insurance for the rest of my family, especially critical illness? Now, we at Kuna Caribbean, we're very agile and we listen to our clients. When we rolled out the FIP and added the rider to it, a lot of persons were asking us, I have critical illness coverage now, thank you very much. But what about my wife? What about my husband? What about my parents, my children? They too can get critical illnesses and we want to protect them as well. So we listened and our product development team went to the drawing board and we came up with the Family Critical Illness Plan. I'm going to go into it in detail. Before I do that, I want to share some information with you. I was researching and came across an article recently in the Jamaica Gleaner written by Lenford Simpson. And in that article, he stated that the average cost of just the diagnosis section of having a critical illness, just to be diagnosed, so to do the biopsy, things like that. For cancer is $95,000 just to be diagnosed. And if you catch the cancer early and treat it early, you're looking at $500,000 to $600,000 without chemotherapy. And if you detect it late without chemotherapy, you're looking at 1.5 to 2 million. If you add chemotherapy to that, at 1 million per year just to survive cancer. So with that, you understand that critical illness is not something cheap, and it's no surprise by the Ministry of Health stated that 21% of Jamaicans are dying from cancer. And when we add to that, the World Health Organization saying that 13% of Jamaicans are dying from stroke. So if we just combine stroke and cancer, we realize that 34% of Jamaicans are dying from critical illnesses, 2 critical illnesses, stroke and cancer. Break it down a little further. 1/3 of the persons who are dying in Jamaica, 1 out of every 3 persons, are dying. The statistics also show that persons of higher income level are dying less frequent. So for me, that tells me that there is a relationship between the ability to afford care and the survival rate for critical illness. I'm saying all of that to say this. It is very important that we have critical illness coverage. And as you're going to note throughout my presentation, that the earlier you get it, the coverage, the illness, the earlier you get the coverage, the better it will be for you. So we're going to look at the family critical illness plan. And let me just introduce it to you quickly.
Hey, a quarter pound of jerk chicken there, please. Oh, you want the family, Miss Sharon?
Boy, Chris, Mark just got out of the hospital. Heart attack.
Heart attack? Mark not just 32?
Well, heart attack, stroke, cancer, it could happen to anyone at any time.
True.
But it's a good thing. They took my advice and bought that family critical illness plan from Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited. They took out the $3 million plan and no medical to sign up. They received the money they needed to get him back on his feet. I feel better knowing that they could afford the best critical illness coverage for their family.
Why, Miss Sharon, look like me need to get that plan right away.
Trust me, Chris, the family critical illness plan is a good thing.
Request a quote at CunaCaribbean.com or visit your credit union and sign up today.
All right, so similar to our family indemnity plan, we designed the product to be as burdenless as possible on the members. So we have options. Whatever you can afford, there is an option that you can take from us. We go from 500,000 all the way up to 3 million, and you can select in increments of 500,000. So you could have 500,000, a million, 1.5 million, 2 million, 2.5, all the way up to 3 million. And again, these can take care of the medical expenses of your loved ones and additional costs that will come with the diagnosis of a critical illness. It is also noteworthy that when you look at the reasons why persons are interested in getting critical illness coverage, we realize that the treatment of it is the main reason why. So if you look at the first one here, pay for medical expenses. We, in our research, also found that financial planning suffers when somebody gets diagnosed with a critical illness. Because if you have a loved one and you can help that person to survive a critical illness by depleting your savings, I'm sure that we all would. So it is prudent to maintain a financial balance by having critical illness insurance should in case you're faced with one of these illnesses. So let us look at the critical illness plan. We cover 6 critical illnesses. So not only did we extend it to the entire family, but we added coma as well. So we have the 5 that we cover under the rider, but we also add coma to the family critical illness plan. You have that option as well. You can access up to 3 million for each member of your family. Initially, we will give you up to 2 million, and as you grow with us, so you're with us for more than 6 months, we will allow you to upgrade up to the $3 million coverage. Also important to note is that if you reach termination age, which is 75 years old, we will refund you 50% of the premiums if you did not make a claim under your critical illness plan. Again, keeping the same theme that we're known for, ease of access. No medical is required, and you will get a lump sum payout on the first diagnosis. Let me pause here to just say this. Sometimes when you have a critical illness and you go to your insurance company for your pay, some of the money, then you have to carry receipt and quotation for you to get the others. We don't do it like that. We give you the entire lump sum as soon as we get evidence that you're diagnosed with one of the critical illness. So you and your family will now have the resources and you can decide the best treatment option for you. Your children will remain on the plan up to their 26th birthday, or if they marry, whichever comes first. And also for your children, once they reach 26, we will also refund you 50% of the premium that we would have collected for them under the plan. So think about it, because we're going to talk about the price of the product soon. But I want you to have in the back of your mind that the premiums that you're paying, if you're not diagnosed with a critical illness, half of that will come back to you at some point in time. So who are the persons who are covered? The certificate holder, which is you, your spouse. Both of you have to be enrolled before your 60th birthday. Any combination of 2 parents. And it is important to note that for the life of a critical illness plan, we will pay a benefit for 2 spouses and 2 parents. Disabled children can stay on it for up to their 75th birthday as well. And your unmarried children will, as I mentioned before, be on it from 1 to 25. How do you get started? Most of you are already members of First Heritage Credit Union. If not, you become a member. Simple enrollment form. You submit your verifications, your IDs, proof of address, pay your first month's premium, and you are on your way to financial security and peace of mind from all critical illness. So this is a price structure that we spoke about. Now, if you, let's say you are 35 years old for 2 million, you're paying $3,000. And if your spouse is in the same age range for the same amount, you're paying 2,700. So just a quick calculation just to give you an idea of the amount that you would pay. So you're covering 3 family members, you, your spouse, and a child, and the age ranges are shown on the screen. The coverage is 1.5, 1 million, and 500 respectively for your husband, the spouse, and the child. So for the 1.5 million coverage, you'll pay $2,250. For the spouse, who is a $1 million coverage, it's $657, and your child $328.50. So you'd pay $3,000 for a combined coverage of $3 million. So I want you to look at that, and I'm sure that if you shop around, it is comparable to none. It is, for what you're getting, this is absolutely affordable. So think about it, and I'm sure that we'll be hearing from you we'll be hearing from you at First Heritage. But also, before I move on, once you come in at a premium, you will remain at that premium for the life of the certificate. And that is why I mentioned earlier, it is important for you to enroll early. So let me go back to the schedule. If you're under 35 and you buy 1.5 million, you will pay $1,095, and you will pay that for as long as you have the plan. It doesn't matter how old you get or your increased risk as you, it doesn't matter, your premium will remain. So it is important age that you enter the plan. The younger you enter it, the more beneficial financially it will be for you. And of course, you'll have that security and peace of mind for a longer period of time. How do you make a claim? You complete the proof of diagnosis report and submit that to your credit union along with the verification, and your credit union will cover that with a claim statement and send it to us. We're going to quickly go through the exclusions that, as wonderful as it is, we want to be very transparent with you. So if you willfully cause injury to yourself, then that is not covered. If you misuse or abuse alcohol, that is not covered as well. Or if your diagnosis as a result of you being involved in a criminal activity, that is also not covered. For the first 5 years of the benefit, we would not pay out if your diagnosis is contributed or directly related to HIV or AIDS. And there is a pre-existing clause, which means that if you know that you have the critical illness before, don't it make any sense you hide it and then come and try to enroll, because it's going to affect you. It's an exclusion. So pre-existing conditions relating to the covered illnesses are not covered. And of course, with no medical insurance, there is a 6 months waiting period for diagnosis that are non-accidental. I'm sure I might get the question, how can critical illness be accidental? But remember that we're also covering major burns. So if you're in an accident and more than 20% of your body is burned, then you can make a claim within the first 6 months, because that would be an accident. Any questions for me on the family critical illness plan before I move on to the golden harvest? All right. So I have a question here from Rosemary Clark. What if you die suddenly with a critical illness before knowing that you had it? So do you have the insurance? Because that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to not let you have the coverage and not have the critical illness and not have the coverage. So we're trying to get you to buy the coverage. So is the question that you have the critical illness coverage insurance, but you die suddenly? Well, if you die, it's a living benefit. So if you die, then you're not alive to make the claim. We'll be hoping that you have the family indemnity plan as well, that we can pay out to your beneficiary in that case. Nadine Pusey has her hand raised, so we'll take a question from her. You can go ahead and unmute.
Okay, so let's go to Karen Natty.
Karen Natty, we'll take your question. Can you unmute and ask the question, please?
Sorry, I was trying to ask earlier. Good evening, everyone. I wrote it in the chat as well. I have a F5. It was really for the FIP because my son has not turned 26 as yet. He will be 26 in September, but I got a letter last week stating that he was terminated from the plan. So I'm saying, God forbid, what if something was to happen and he's not yet 26? Would the benefits still be payable? Because you sent a letter so that he was terminated.
All right, so that letter that we sent, we actually send a letter to you 3 months before the person turns 26 to say to you that the member will be terminated on their 26th birthday, but the coverage remains in force up until they are 26. That is just us giving you advance notice so that you can make arrangement to have coverage for that child elsewhere. That answers your question? Right. Sophia Jackson will take your question.
Yes, good night. Good night. What I wanted to find out, I posted as a question, in case of death, and you bring in the appropriate documents, how long it takes for the funds to be paid?
The question is, after a death happens and you bring in all the documents in, how long does it take?
Yeah, for payment to be made from the
All right. So I'm going to reiterate all the documents coming in. So as long as we get all the required documents and we receive them at the insurance company, then we take 2 working days. So it is important to differentiate certain things. When you submit the claim to your credit union has processing that they must do, and that takes time. So I want you to take that into consideration. The 2 working days that we are giving our commitment is after it reaches our office. Then we will make a decision and send it back to your credit union.
Okay, thank you very much. One more question for the critical illness. What age group you start taking person? Suppose I want to put my mom on a critical illness, right? Do you have an age limit so you cannot put the person on it at a certain age?
Yes.
For example, she's 62 or 63. Can she go on a critical illness?
No, she would have to go on before her 60th birthday. So unfortunately, no.
Okay, I just wanted to find out that. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So I have a question here from Denise ask, but if you can add up to 5 persons, why would a 26-year-old be dropped? So the family indemnity plan was designed for dependent children, and 26 years old is actually a very conservative age, because considering that a person is considered adult at 18, we allow for a Jamaica situation where, you know, as soon as you're 18, you don't come out of your parents' house. There is some transition that needs to take place. So at 26, the policy says that the person is no longer dependent of the parent unless the person is permanently disabled. And that is also why if a child marries before 26, they are removed too, because you would no longer be a dependent on your parent at that time, but you now have a family of your own that you need to be looking at your own family indemnity plan. How often can I claim? This is a question from Shade on your critical illness. So each person can claim once. So for any one of the covered illness that happens first, you make that first claim and it will terminate once a benefit is paid out. So once a benefit is paid out, it is terminated. So there will be no opportunity to claim again for the same certificate, for the same person, for the same covered illness. We'll take 2 more questions, and I'm seeing a hand raised from Audrey, a FHC member. Audrey, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello. You hearing me?
Yes, Audrey, you can go ahead.
Yes, my question was from the FIP section, with the backup of the critical illness.
Yes.
When, say for instance, that I have a plan already, but I wanted to do the critical illness, is that effective as I pay the first money? The
So
first $200 top up?
There are 2 things that determines the effective date. It is the first of the month following which you sign the enrollment form and first premium. So there are two things that you need to do. So visit one of your credit union FHC branches, complete the enrollment form, submit the verification, and pay your first premium. You'll be effective the first of the following month.
Okay, so it just take 30 days then. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bernadette Bachelor has her hand raised. We'll take your question. Bernadette, can unmute and ask your question, please.
Okay. Good evening. I just wanted to find out, since if you're diabetic, and you know, if you're diabetic, you are probably susceptible to a heart attack or stroke. Is this one of the, if you're already diagnosed as diabetic, would you be able to join the critical illness family plan?
The pre-existing clause speaks to the covered conditions, and diabetes is not one of them. So the short answer is yes. But there will be medical questions on that you have to answer truthfully and honestly, and the coverage will be determined as it goes to our operation processing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to move on to the last product that we have this afternoon. So thank you so much for the questions, and I hope we'll have some time at the end to take some more. And we also want to leave some time to give you something. So let us move quickly to Golden Harvest.
Welcome to the Wonga Money Academy. Today, we'll be talking about the benefits of saving, one of the 4 pillars of financial literacy. All in all, saving is a proven path to financial wellness and a happy future. Enjoying financial wellness means to manage your money with good sense, and saving is an important step in the right direction. After all, dreams and goals often cost a penny or two. Saving will get you the funds you need, whether the goal is sending your children to university, enjoying your retirement, or owning a house without slipping into major debt. Saving can also earn you the money to take that holiday you deserve, or buy something special for that special someone. And what would you do if you suddenly had to replace a window, handle a medical emergency, or pay bills while you look for a new job? Would your current salary or your savings allow you to cover your usual expenses like rent and groceries, plus life's curveballs? If the answer is no, the solution is to start saving for an emergency fund. Saving provides you with peace of mind, meaning that unexpected events become far less scary. Your emergency fund should be 3 to 5 months worth of income. But what about making money through saving? This can certainly happen if you deposit your savings in accounts that pay interest. Along with your savings being safe, the interest will allow your money to grow. This is what financial experts mean by getting your money to work for you. Even if you can't save much, your regular deposits plus the interest they gain will give you a decent profit. Make no mistake, saving leads to financial comfort and security. So, in many important ways, saving goes hand in hand with having a happy future. We hope you now have a clear idea of how much saving can help you. We'll come back to saving later on in the series and talk about these benefits in even more detail.
All right, so I'm going to ask the person to mute, please. Okay, so let me start with a question and a scenario. Would you be encouraged to save if you knew that no matter what, you would reach the goal that you're saving towards? Take this scenario. You're a taxi driver and you have your first child and you're very excited about that. And you, in your financial wisdom, realize that in a couple of years, and when I say couple, I really mean a couple, that child will be ready for university. And you decide to save towards that goal and you decide to save $3 million for your child's education, higher education, you go into FHC and you speak to your representative and you decide to save $25,000 every month for the next 120 months so that you can reach $3 million by the time your child becomes of age and is ready for university. And you're a taxi driver, so after 6 months of paying your $25,000, you would have accumulated about $150,000. And you're in an accident, and you're total and permanently disabled, and you can't drive anymore. And you come into your credit union, and the same representative that signed you up, you said to them that, you know, I can't work anymore, I can't drive anymore. I don't think I'll be able to continue saving the $25,000 that I had planned. And in addition to that, I wouldn't mind if I could get back what I've saved so far because this is not going to work out. My child may not go to university. And that representative is able to say to you that through the partnership that FHC has with Kuna Caribbean Insurance, we will give you the $150 that you would have saved plus an additional $2.85 million and give you that $3 million that you had intended to save for your child's education. If that scenario is in front of you, would you be encouraged to save? And that is exactly what the Golden Harvest product offers you. It offers you the ability to save towards all of life's goals: education, wedding, car, home, retirement, whatever it is. You can save with your credit union under the Golden Harvest Savings Plan, and you are able to have the security of insurance against death or total and permanent disability, and your family members, if you should still be able to achieve the goal that you intended for them. So this is just something that you need to think about while you're saving. So don't just save for save's sake. Save towards something and add that additional coverage of insurance should something happen along the way. But ensure that your family members will still be able to benefit from that savings that you have planned for them. Now, the minimum savings goal will be determined by your first representative, and the minimum will also be determined by you and your representative the list that the credit union has in place. So, discussion, tell them what goals are, and have that. This both have that discussion goals. Pay your money towards that goal, and we will take care of the insurance piece of it for you. So you want to establish your goal. You want to establish your savings goal. You decide how much you want to save. Just give me one moment, please. All right. So you establish your savings goal. That is, you decide how much you want to save. The length of time that you want to save money for, the duration. And once you have your savings goal, let's say you reach the goal that something happens, you cash that lump sum out, meaning you take the lump sum saved, put it in as a lump sum, and continue to save as a new goal. So your savings Okay, so I'm so sorry about that. We had some issues that we are sorting. You can hear me a little bit better here before. Is it? Somebody respond, please, to let me know if the sound quality is better than yours, please. Better? All right. Is the audio better now? All right, great. So we had that. Thanks to our technical people to have us back up so quickly. So we were talking about the Golden Harvest Plan and the fact that you need to set your goals and set your duration. So your savings will be insured in the event of the member passing or is total and permanently disabled. Right. The beneficiaries will receive the insurance to complete the goal that you had set. It's easy to get started, just like all our other products. As soon as you're a member of the credit union, go in, speak to them, sign the insurance contract, and start making your first deposit. You are eligible to be enrolled in the Golden Harvest Plan once you're a member of First Heritage Credit Union. So all members are eligible to enroll in this savings plan, as long as you're between the ages of 15 and 65 when you're signing up. The insurance will go all the way up to 70, but you must enroll before you reach age 65. You complete the enrollment form that establishes the goal and the time frame, answer one simple health question, and you are on your way to having your goals realized through savings backed by insurance should you pass away before you reach that goal or you become total and permanently disabled. So at this point, we're going to have the questions on the Golden Harvest Savings Plan before we move into our giveaways. Do we have any? Lenria, we have a question from Lenria. Can you unmute and go ahead and ask your question, please? Lenria? So, is the audio edited? And if so, quickly take 2 questions. Caroline is asking, someone loses their is not in a position to plan your payments. What are the options? Caroline, I would need to come in and speak for First Heritage representative or client service agent, and we will assess your situation, do our very best to make sure that you don't lose coverage that you have. You can call us 876-929-3500 or send us an email at customer services Caribbean.com. One more question. You can unmute and ask your question. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hand back now to Ven, and she will take you through the giveaways.
Family and friends, unfortunately, we are having some technical challenges. I'm not sure what is happening with internet service just now, but I'm quite sure. Are you hearing me clearly? Are you hearing me clearly? Okay, thank you so much. We're having some challenges, and as such, we had to end our presentation prematurely on the golden harvest. But for those persons who are interested in the golden harvest, I encourage you to call us at 876-929-5142. At this time, we have some giveaways that we would, you have come and you have shared your time with us, and we have a Q&A section. So we would like to do some giveaways because Kuna came. I'm getting some feedback here. Are you hearing me? Okay. All right. So we have a few questions that we will ask, and we have some great prizes from Kuna. Thank you so much, Austin. Thank you. We have some questions that we will ask, and we're seeing that the audio is challenged. I am going to ask you to raise your hand, and you'll be recognized to answer the question. So the first person to raise his or her hand will be able to answer the question. This evening we have movie tickets, we have vouchers, and the gift basket giving away. And the first question, are you ready for the questions? Okay. For the first person to raise his or her hand, or no, let me not use the raising of hand. For the first person to type the answer in the chat and type it correctly will win 2 movie tickets. Are you ready for the question? So the first question is, what is the family indemnity plan? What is the family indemnity plan? You have to be a little bit more specific. I'll ask the Kuna team to help me with identifying the winner. The best answer. What is the family indemnity plan? Georgia, Anthelon, can you help me to identify? My Kuna team, are you helping me to find a winner? Okay. I'm sure I'm seeing some very good answers there. So we will move on to the next question, and then we will come back and we will share with you the name of the winner. And that person would have won for him or herself 2 movie tickets. The next question is, what are the illnesses covered under the FCIP? And there are 6 of them, so you need to name the 6 of them. What are the illnesses covered under the FCIP? everything, all six illnesses must be, all six must be in your answer. All six at once. Do we have a winner, Kuna? Do we have a winner? Interesting answers I'm seeing. Interesting answers. Okay, so we're going to move on to the third question. So this person would have won for him or herself. That's the answer to the second question. 2 spa vouchers from GenCare. And that person, the spa vouchers are for mani and pedicures for 1 male, 1 female. So see, we're treating you and your loved one. Okay. So for the first 2 winners, the person who answered, what is the family indemnity plan? The winner of the 2 movie tickets, that person is Shade. Congratulations to Shade. Shade, are you still here? Shade is still here. Congratulations, Shade. And the winner of the second question, what are the illnesses covered under the FCIP? Rosemary Clark, you are the winner. Congratulations, Rosemary Clark. Now to the third question. Let me see if I can find a question that you should all know the answer to. What is the highest benefit option available for the FCIP? What is the highest benefit option available for the FCIP? And this person will win for him or herself a gift basket. And all of these prizes are compliments of Kuna, a gift basket. Do we have a winner? We have a winner. Marlene Stewart, you are the winner. Congratulations, Marlene Stewart. Do you want more questions? Do you want more prizes? Do you want more gifts? Yes, only one person saying yes. Oh, Sade is saying yes. Anybody? Oh, wow. Anybody else want more gifts? More questions? All right. So the next gift is a goodie bag. And the question is, let me see which one I should. What is the highest benefit option available for the FIP? What is the highest benefit option available for the FIP? If you have won a prize already, I'm going to ask you not to answer. Let us share the prizes, please. What is the highest benefit option available for the FIP? Do we have a winner? Oh, yes. We have a winner. My friends from Kuna, who is that person? What is the highest benefit option available for the FIP? Kuna? Marvia, congratulations. Marvia, you are a winner. And then you must be saying all of these prizes are coming from Kuna. What sort of incentive is coming from my credit union, FHC? You're asking yourself that question, right? So this is the challenge. And Georgia spoke about it earlier. Georgia said it could be a case where you're asked to call and say, and enroll and say, Sister Passion sent you, or you are part of the webinar. For the first 5 persons who enroll in or upgrade any of the 4 products, any one of the 4 products shared tonight on or before Monday afternoon, that's the 3rd of August, close of business. Once you enroll and you indicate that you were with all the you brought in all the documentations needed, and you indicate that you were a part of this webinar, you will receive a gift voucher from FHC. So we need a minimum of 5 persons, whether you're enrolling in one of the products or you're upgrading, you already have one of the plans, the FIP, and you're upgrading, or you're taking out a golden harvest, you're taking out a FCIP, or you're adding the critical illness rider to the FIP, and you have brought in all the documentations on or before the close of business on the 3rd of August, and you make mention to the representative that you are a part of the webinar, you will receive a gift voucher from us here at FHC. How does that sound? How does that sound? Fabulous, amazing, great. Friends, we just want to say thank you so much. We will communicate with all of our winners. We have your information, but we just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to join us tonight. We do apologize for the shakiness of the audio towards the latter part of the presentation, but I'm quite sure that the products and the presentation triggered something within you, so that you will call us tomorrow, or you will visit one of our branches island-wide. You can call us at 876-929-5142 to get more information and to have all of your questions answered about these 4 products. Our member care center, our member care agents, our member service representatives, etc., they're all waiting to serve you. So on behalf of us at FHC and the Kuna family, we just want to say thank you so much again for joining us. And just to remind you that we will be sending out a survey tomorrow morning, and we ask you to complete the survey and and so that we can assess the seminar tonight, so we can plan for other sessions. We appreciate you so much for taking the time again to join us, and we look forward to more sessions in the Feeling the Joy series hosted by your credit union, First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union. On behalf of the FHC family, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Walk good. Thank you.